Hello class, I decided to put together this video for Chapter 2 to help you work out some of the basics for argument diagramming. Firstly, one of the things you need to learn is when to use the plus sign versus two separate arrows when diagramming the relationship between premises and a conclusion. On the one hand, you could have two premises that are presented as working together to get you to a conclusion. On the other hand, you could have two premises that are working independent of one another to get you to a conclusion. It's not always obvious which is the case, but sometimes it certainly is. So compare these two very brief arguments. You should buy the Honda because they have great reliability and it is the only car you've seen that you can afford, versus you should buy the Honda because they have great reliability and you can't afford to pay for many repairs. So let's identify the premise and conclusion indicators. Let's put brackets around the claims and number them. Because and are functioning as premise indicators, and here are the brackets. Now we've numbered the various claims. Certainly number 1 is the conclusion, and the reasons being given on the one hand is that Hondas have great reliability and it's the only car you've seen that you can afford. On the other hand, Hondas have great reliability and you can't afford to pay for many repairs. Now let's diagram these. What you can see is on the left side I've represented the premise that's numbered 2 and the premise that's numbered 3 as independent premises. Well, Hondas have great reliability, that's a pretty good reason for buying the car, and also the financial issue, well, the only one you could afford. So as you can see, I'm giving two independent reasons for why you might want to buy the Honda. On the other hand, if you were to look on the right side, you can see how premise that's numbered 2 and premise that's numbered 3 are working together. They have great reliability. Well, why does reliability matter so much to you? It matters so much to you because you're not going to have the money to afford to pay for many repairs. So those two premises are so linked together. The reliability and that the reliability matters to you. It's better to represent those two premises as working hand in hand, and thus a plus sign is being used. So this very short example may offer you more insight into how to differentiate between premises working independent of one another and premises that are working in a conjoined way. Next. Let's look at an argument that's framed in terms of a disjunctive option. A disjunction is an either-or statement. So, either he will go fishing or shopping today. It will rain and he hates the rain, so he will go shopping. Well, either is going to identify that you have a disjunctive going on with the or, as you can see, I've also italicized. And is going to separate premises, and so is going to indicate a conclusion. So let us now number them and put brackets around the individual claims. As you notice, I used a single claim number for the entire disjunction. He will go fishing or shopping today. It's acceptable if you wanted to have those as two separate claims. He will go fishing or he will go shopping today. If you want to, you could have numbered them as separate claims, or you can number them the entire disjunction as a single claim. And here's the diagram, so let's look at this. We have the entire disjunction. He will go fishing or go shopping today as number 1. And now we have a statement concerning the circumstances having to do with his choice. It will rain and he hates the rain. Well, the conclusion is, since presumably number 2 and number 3 are reasons against going fishing, we can conclude we've eliminated fishing as an option. And so number 4 then is the conclusion. Also, if you wanted to here, you could add in an unstated premise. Since it will rain today and he hates the rain, he won't go fishing, therefore he will go shopping. That would make this argument a little bit more complicated in the diagram. It certainly would be acceptable if you wanted to take that additional step, but for simplicity's sake, I've presented it in this way. Simply the disjunction and the reasons against one of the options in the disjunction, all serving in a conjoined way to yield the conclusion. Now, what if there was an additional statement, a statement that supports one of the premises? What do we have here? Well, why do I think it will rain? Let's say I know it in my bones. I'm an old man, and I feel aches and pains before it rains. I know it in my bones that it will rain. There we have a reason that supports one of the specific premises, and so we can diagram that as you see on the page with claim number 5 serving as a reason in support of the specific claim number 2, it will rain. Let's add then another claim. Let's say there's a completely additional reason for why he's going shopping, and the other reason is that he owes his brother a gift. Well, we can diagram that as a completely independent premise of the rest, where the first set we have a disjunctive argument. Let's say there's only 2 things he's going to be doing today. We've given a series of reasons why he's going to be doing one of those 2, and so the cluster 1, 2, and 3 and the supporting reason 5 serve as one line of argumentation that leads to the conclusion, and then we have a completely separate line of argumentation that he owes his brother a gift as leading to the conclusion. And of course, we could even have a supporting premise for that other independent line, that he owes his brother a gift. Why does he owe his brother a gift? Well, why should he be giving his brother a gift? Well, let's say his brother did him a favor. His brother fixed his car. Maybe it wasn't that Honda in the previous example. And what do I have? I have 7 introduced then as a supporting reason for 6. And as you can see here, the diagram is starting to get a little bit more intricate, but hopefully you can see how clearly this diagram represents the argument above. The conclusion is obviously number 4, that he's going shopping. We have one set of reasons for number 4 having to do with the disjunction and reasons to eliminate one of the disjuncts. And we also have a completely separate line of inference having to do with his owing his brother a gift because his brother fixed his car. With step-by-step working through these basics will, I hope, give you a better grasp of argument diagramming.